Kickers handle that whole mentality of, oh, we never want to settle for three, run him out there. I mean, it's still points on the board, even though they want touchdowns. But how do you kind of view that mentality sometimes?
Right. I always talk to our offensive guys. I'm like, hey, I want to kick once, believe it or not. I want to kick that PAT at the end of the day because that means our team is being very successful. But if I can close out a drive with a 3 and hit a field goal, I'm happy to do so. And I'm very proud that the guys trusted me to do that for them.
Hunter, I'm sorry I'm late here, but why did you decide to come back this season?
It was a long discussion between my wife and I to come back and really make an impact in this program. And I've been a Roadrunner since day one. This is my 6th season coming up, and I didn't want to miss out on something so special because I'm committed to the culture and I'm committed to this university as a whole. And if I looked back and saw all the great things that were happening and I wasn't a part of that, I think I would really regret it. And not to mention the great relationship I have with the guys, coaching staff, and everybody on this team.
So you are one of the super seniors then?
Correct.
Has that felt any different, or is there any different of an oar to it compared to being an underclassman?
There's more responsibility that comes with it because we were brought back in, yes, because we're seasoned veterans, but also because we have a culture to uphold here. And we're still learning ourselves day in and day out what integrity, passion, mental, physical toughness, selflessness, perfect effort, pound the fist, win the day. We're still learning how that fits into our daily lives, and our super seniors are really here to reinforce that. So that's the importance of us coming back for this team and this program.
It's kind of crazy, though. Here you are a super senior with a wife, and then you have 18-year-olds who just got out of high school.
Right. So, yeah, the ongoing joke is like I'm the dad of the team, dad of the group. I get that very often. From the specialists, I'm the old man. That occurs very often. But I'm also a real football player. I like to keep it real with them, and just because I have a wife and I am working a job here in town doesn't mean that I'm not relatable and I don't have stuff go wrong in my own life. And so really bringing those guys along with me is very, very important to me because I don't want them to see it as I have it made or I'm some old seasoned guy who doesn't go through the same struggles they do.
Yeah. What's it like having those responsibilities, a wife, a job, and now football, which is another job?
It's very difficult. It is. And on top of that, academics is very difficult to keep up with in itself, and that's very important to me. But really compartmentalizing and putting those things in its place and doing first things first, which, for me, my faith is first, and believing in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ is a big deal to me. And then everything else is falling into place after that. But again, making sure I prioritize what needs to be prioritized and taking care of business in all those facets.
And we hear a lot about the culture these first few days of trying to take it to the next level. But what does that mean? Like how does that translate to the football field, the culture?
The culture definitely translates because we're not just talking about it in meetings. We're out here to do it. And if you ask any guy on this team, they would be able to recite the culture pillars to you and put it in their own words and what it means to them, which I think is impressive. It's not regurgitated. It's not scripted. They could give you a baseline of what coach says and then what it means to them. And we're still teaching some of the younger guys what it means to them and what it looks like on the practice field, and we're developing that in a camp season. But when you go on the practice field and you have guys talking about integrity already when they're coming in as a guest speaker, or they're talking about the passion that we bring to the field, that's not coincidental. That's branding, and we're getting there.
Coach was telling us that he felt like the selfless kind of pillar was going to be important this fall because of, I guess, the talent on the roster. A lot of new guys coming in that are really good. Do you feel like that's going to be a kind of a point of emphasis throughout these fall camp practices?
Right. Coach Triller is always saying, don't eat the cheese. And we do have a lot of great guys, a lot of great talent. We went from, 0 preseason awards, bottom of the conference, really bottom of FBS football, to now everybody's hyping us up. We got a new building and it feels great. So to really put that in its place and give a good perspective on it, just remember where we came from. I mean, we came from a very small building where when I was there, starting out there, the team room was the locker room. And your chair was just set out and you had your pads on the chair, you had your cleats under the chair, and then you walked into your meetings right after that. So there was no locker room at all. So figuring those things out and keeping the expectations to a minimum and really boosting our culture is going to bring us success in the long run. I think that goes in with the selfless piece. You can't get lost in the accolades.
All right. Thanks a lot.